What's up, internet world, and welcome back to the channel. Today I bring you something totally different, and that is a truck, an actual truck. And here we go. This is the 2020 GMC Sierra 1500 Carbon Pro Edition AT4. Now you can get the Sierra in 4 different editions: the SLE/SLT version, the Elevation Edition, the AT4, and the Denali. So you can get 3 engines in a Sierra: a 5.3 V8, a 6.2 V8, and a 3-liter diesel Duramax. The 5.3 engine has 355 horsepower and 383 foot-pounds of torque, whereas the 6.2 liter has 420 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque. Now this Duramax has 277 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque. And why would somebody buy a diesel in a Sierra? Because really, if you have a diesel, it's to tow. And this Sierra can only tow 9,800 pounds. Now, why would you make this that doesn't tow? And the reason being is because this is sort of a gateway vehicle for those who want to off-road. Because this edition includes a 2-inch lift, it includes mud tires, it includes all the stuff you'd expect from a semi-mud option vehicle, and that would include skid plates. But hold up, Mike, you're saying if I buy one of these, I cannot tow my trailer? Well, with COVID, man, guys are buying trailers all the time. Well, there's an answer for you. If you get the SLE or the SLT, you can tow 12,100, or if you get the Elevation, you can tow 11,200, which is plenty for any travel trailer up to 37 feet. First things first, as we start up all videos, and that is the front of the vehicle. What do you guys think about the front of this vehicle? This has absolutely no chrome. It does have something called black chrome. So all this is black chrome. GMC is doing a great job, in my opinion, of the front look of these trucks. This is probably one of the nicer looking trucks out there. I'm not a huge fan of the Chev. I do like the way the Ram looks with the Sport Edition. The regular Ram, not so much. But this thing is nice. I just like the way GM's sort of styled their cars out. This AT4 has these signature tow hooks on the front. So as far as headlights go, these are LEDs in this C sort of design LED for the daytime running lights. Also, did you guys know that GMC is like a higher class version than Chevy? I didn't know. Did you guys know? Let me know in the comments below. All right, so I brought my buddy out here, the elephant, to talk about 2 things. One is the antenna. Why do we still making these antennas? I guess for FM AM, because you actually have a satellite antenna that sits right there, probably with the navigation data in it. So my thoughts are they're still making this, probably yes for the FM, but also to know the height when you enter underground parking lots, because that will hit if you're getting too low. Open it up. Thank God for aluminum hoods, because back in the day, you want to lift a hood like this up, you need 3 guys. Look at the size of this turbo. This is a massive turbonium. So as I mentioned, this has the off-road package, and what that gives you is it gives you a 2-inch lift, it gives you skid plates underneath, it gives you hill descent control, and it gives you a bigger air filter. Maybe because you're breathing dust and dirt all the time? A high-capacity air filter. So this specific AT4 gives you 18-inch wheels that are also available as 20s, but these 18s have the Goodyear, Wrangler, DuraTrack mud tires. Now let me tell you this, they're 18-inch mud tires. So there are 2 heavy hitter features on the back of this truck. The first one, the tailgate. Now there are 2 buttons on here, along with the 2 cameras. The first button, when I hit it, it clicks, and then I pull this piece down, and it's sort of a half tailgate. Now this half tailgate's pretty cool because you can just throw stuff in. Now it does have the 2-inch lift, so for short guys like me, it is still a bit far to put stuff into it and come back. But for taller guys or ones that don't have the 2-inch lift, this is pretty awesome. Now, the second piece of this is you can actually press this button and pull this up. And what this does, it's sort of a bed stop. So if you do have 2x4s, you just throw them in here, and you sort of have something to stop the material from flying out of the truck. Now, secondly, there's a second button here. When you press it, the whole tailgate, and it's got sort of a soft open as opposed to soft close, but it soft opens all the way down. Now the only issue I have with this whole tailgate is the weight. Now for me to lift it up, it's light there, but it gets real heavy about here, and then it pivots, and then it's easy. So that's the only really complaint I have about this tailgate. Some other guys have mentioned that there's no way to open this tailgate when the battery dies, and yes, there is. I'll show you. There's actually a cap down here that you remove and you pull back, and that is a space for a key. So if this battery ever dies and you can't get open, you can simply put your key in here, open it up, and then open the tailgate. As far as aesthetics go, this is a beautiful truck in the back. Trucks usually look boring, but this is sort of muscular, it's meaty. As I said, it pretty much follows all the black theme you have around this truck. It's got the black AT4 with the red on the back. It's got the side step to get inside. That really works well. But it's got another cool feature, and I know this is not aesthetics, but, oops, wrong button. So I gotta get used to that. The first button is for the top part. The second button is for the bottom part. And you can sort of pull this out and use it to get in and out. So you can actually put your foot here, step into it, and pull it up. It does have a lever, so this doesn't go down. You actually have to push this lever back, and then it does go down. Push this lever up, and it does click in, or it locks in place. So there's another feature of this tailgate. When I have the tailgate flat, I can press this half tailgate button, and then this section drops. And when this section drops, I can simply have another footrest to go in. So another step to go in. Some of the models actually have a kicker speaker in there, which is pretty awesome. This model does not, but you have a kicker speaker that you can hook up your Bluetooth phone to, and it plays music. So if you are at the beach or at the job site and you want to get some tunes, you can play it right from your tailgate. Now the second heavy hitter thing this truck does is this bed liner. This bed liner is so important that they actually put in the name of the truck, Carbon Pro Edition. So I'll go over exactly what the bed liner does, but here's some cool parts. There's two cameras here. One of the cameras actually faces the bed, so when you're in the cabin and you want to see the infotainment, you press the park button and you get to see what's in the bed. It also has cameras in the tailgate, but the other cool part, it has LEDs that face in the bed, so at night you can see what's in the bed. And you get more storage because what they can do is they can actually mold this right tight to the panel. And if you need to plug anything in, it does have a 110 output connection right there. Now I won't get into some crazy nonsense on what carbon fiber can absorb in terms of beating, but think about this. GM actually had a full snowmobile with metal studs and a 250-pound dude sitting on it, full acceleration on this bed, and the damage was minimal. Check this out. This is if you got a trailer and you got a camera in the back of the trailer, you've got a camera extender. All right. Let's try that again. Not hit my head. Okay, don't get too high. All right, there we go. A lot of room back here. A ton of room. As far as back seats go, lots of room. Prefer to have a bit of a longer, because my elbow goes here, it's nice and soft, and then this is hitting plastic, so I don't know, change that a bit. Maybe go a little bit higher or just start a little bit lower. Then it kind of pulls out and then it ends up here. Pretty straightforward stuff. The back window does slide open backwards and forwards. I would like to have seen a light over here when I'm looking down because a light should be like right here. As far as USB plugins, there's USB-C, a USB, and a cigarette lighter and heated seats in the back. There is venting under the seats, and there's venting here and cup holders here. So you actually have cup holders here that are tight and cup holders there. So you got 4 cup holders for 2 people in the back. Something interesting that I just see, there's actually pullouts here. Cool. Look at this. There's storage behind these seats. That's the first time I've ever seen that. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh? All right, so on the inside of the AT4, and the interior, there's a lot of stuff online about the interior being dated, and it is a little bit dated. But if I had to say but anything, it is they put the money in being a workhorse truck, but this drives like a truck, like a purebred truck. So that automatically gives me the impression of not comfortable, because if you want comfort, you buy the Denali. The AT4 is designed more of an off-road vehicle, so probably stuff that's easy to clean. Not a huge fan of this brown leather. I mean, it kind of throws it off when it's brown. I don't know why it's brown. If you guys know, comment below. So let's talk about utility and what it does. So here's an example. Heads-up display. It's got a 15-inch heads-up display that has something called an off-road inclometer, and that basically tells you the fore and the aft, the tilt, the angle. It shows you your speed, your tack, your nav, your fuel, all your safety features, all up in the heads-up display. It's 15 inches, so it shows you a ton of data. So other usable features, it's got a full-out inverter here, it's got a cigarette lighter, it's got a regular USB and a USB-C. It's got trailer brakes, all in this little area here. It's got a hill descent meter. It's got a hill descent button where you press and you can set your hill descent speed. It's got the inverter button that you can put on or off. Obviously stability program, start and stop, parking sensors, you know, lane assist, all that fun stuff. But it also does have the trunk release. You hit the trunk and it automatically opens. That's pretty cool. So GM seems to put all their buttons, or at least most of their buttons, on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. So usually you have your lights and a few other things like maybe your parking brake and stuff, but they also actually put your 4x4 controls on the left-hand side along with not trailer brakes, but trailer modes on your left side. As far as the seats go, these seats do have the AT4 in the back here, but they are heated and cooled. And you have automatic windows on both sides, not just the driver's side. So this has a black interior, and generally black interiors feel claustrophobic, but I feel really small in here, and there's a ton of room. There's a ton of room on the side of me, there's a ton of room above me, and that's because this is the biggest 1500 in its class in terms of size. They've made this bigger in every way, shape, and form. In the glove box here, you do have an auxiliary input, you do have an SD card, a USB, and a USB-C, and they also have these little attachments on the side, and that's for files. So you can throw files in here, sort them the way you wish, and off you go. And you have this small little light in here. Now this does have wireless charging, and you'd think this wireless charging goes right here because this is a perfect space for a cell phone, except they didn't do it that way. They put the wireless charging down here. So you need to really move it from here to here if you're going to make this space, or get rid of it and make it all leather so my arm doesn't hit plastic. Now this might feel very plasticky, and I know I've picked on all the sort of old school stuff like the steering wheel, not so fan of, the cluster, not a big fan of, but they have made ways, like as I mentioned, the heads-up display. But the best thing I love about this interior is this rear view camera mirror. Now you flip it this way, it's your regular rear view mirror. You flip it this way, and the camera on the back of the tailgate actually shows you what you see. And this is across GM platforms. Now you can get it on other brands like Cadillac and some of the higher end stuff, but the fact they put this in a truck is genius, man. I love this, and I hope across the way they put it, because this to me is money. As far as the infotainment goes, it is pretty small, to be honest. I wish they went a little bit bigger. It is 8-inch, but 8-inch in today's world, at this price point, it should be a 10-inch. There's just no reason for it not to be. Also that when I push it hard, it does sort of reverberate back, and it gives me some sort of lighting flash, like I'm some sort of disco. But it does have the same sort of interface across the board. Cadillac has the same one. I do like it. It's pretty easy to use. So when I first got this thing and I picked this up from GM, I thought it was a V8. I didn't actually really know the difference that it wasn't. I didn't even know it was a diesel, to be honest, because it was pretty quiet, had lots of pep. There's a little bit of a delay, so I wasn't really sure, but I didn't honestly know until I was kind of walking around it and I hit the gas cap and I realized, it's got AdBlue, which means it's a diesel. Actually, funny enough, I was driving it and I stop at a stop sign just off the highway, and the engine shuts off, and I was pretty quick to go from the brake to the throttle, and the engine actually didn't start quick enough and it died on me. And that kind of makes sense because it's a diesel, so it takes a little bit longer to start. So I don't know if they figured that out or somebody noticed that, but that was interesting for me. It hasn't happened since, but the other cool part is last night when I was driving it, this bed liner thing was awesome, besides the fact the carbon and all that stuff. But what was cool was the light, that you could hit this button right here, and all trucks have it, Mike. They have the light in the head bed liner. It's just because you drive a Ram and you don't have one. I don't know why I was so excited about that, but just having light in your bed liner does make sense, you know? Like, hello, why doesn't everybody do it? So this drives like a complete truck. See, the Ram does not drive like a truck. It is a truck, but it doesn't drive like a truck. It drives more car-like, a little bit car-like. This is a full-out truck. Those commercials you see with those deep voices that are like, this is a Ram, this is a truck. One thing I did notice, and I'm not sure if the Denali has it, but this has single pane. This doesn't have thicker insulated windows, just regular windows. Because I can hear Buddy's music and it's so loud next to me. One thing I will say, in this vehicle, there's a ton of storage. All right, guys, so we're gonna have an acceleration test in this diesel. Light's gonna go green in a second, and I am gonna hammer this thing, and we are gonna just hold on for dear life. All right. Whoa, frying tires. All right, I got thumbs up. Lots of jam. And there's no black smoke. No black smoke. I found an elephant in here. Look at this gear lever. She's got the vibrating going on. Brakes are very good. Great brakes. Yep. Decent power. it's very truck-like. Like, very strong, bumpy. I feel like if I was going to go and haul lots of dirt, I'd be taking this. This just feels just tougher. And I know that the numbers don't see that. And when I was reading other people's comments, they were basically saying that they basically put the number lower than what it can actually handle in terms of payload and stuff like that. So it just feels a lot more durable and heavy, more heavy duty, I guess, than the Ram that I drive. So even though the Ram seems like it has higher numbers, I just can't see that by driving it. This must hold more weight and it must pull more weight. So one thing I gotta give this truck though is the looks. On the outside, I mean, I've just passed a Chev, I've seen a Ram, and then an F-150 is just making a left here. And this is probably the best looking truck. I mean, it's very close because the Ram Sport actually really looks good. I'm not a huge fan of the Chev at all. The F-150s kind of look standardized, look pretty blah in my opinion. So it's basically between this and the Ram in terms of aesthetics. And it's kind of cool because on the outside and the back, it just looks really sporty and aggressive and all that stuff. And inside, it's very truck-like and sort of outdated a little bit. So I guess it really depends on what you want. If you're really trying to brand your company and you want just the best looking trucks out there, but you want them to be workhorses inside, then I would say this is good enough. And I would say that there's no reason to get anything different. I would say look at a Sierra. It's strong, and GM does have good reliability. I mean, a lot of the guys you see, they do 500,000 miles, no issues as long as they take care of it. And obviously rust has been a big factor, but they've tried to bump the warranties up. They've tried to gone through different technologies and different materials to make it better for you. So yeah, this is a pretty good contender. I'm sort of fixed to my Ram, so I really like my Ram. I like the interior better in the Ram. I like the ride better. I use it for different uses. I basically just use it on the street. I don't use it for anything else. This obviously is an AT4, so I'm probably more used to getting a Denali. But for guys that do want to test the off-road, or guys that live on gravel roads and they really beat their trucks up, obviously the AT4 is worth taking a look at. So I hope you guys like this review. And if something else you guys want me to review, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching and consider subscribing.